What's up, guys? It's Rob from Heroes Avenue. Happy Tuesday. I normally post this video on Mondays, but something went wrong with my recording yesterday, so I'm redoing this for you guys, and I apologize if I look sweaty. I'm in between teaching classes right now. What I wanted to talk about is two main stories, but I may chime in on a bunch of other stories that's happening in the world of DC right now. First thing is Margot Robbie wanting to bring Poison Ivy into the DCEU, and the second stories of today have to do with Zack Snyder and what he said about a Man of Steel sequel and other things. So we'll get into that too. I'm really curious to know what you guys think on the subject. If you haven't liked this video already, please do hit the like button. It really does help us out, and subscribe to the channel. With that being said, let's go ahead and get started. So the first story is Margot Robbie wanting Poison Ivy to join Harley Quinn in the DCEU. I'm on MovieWeb right now. I'm on Den of Geek right now. And this was really interesting to me because I think fans were clamoring for Poison Ivy for a long time to join in the DCEU. And I don't want to put fault on WB right now because, hey, maybe they have plans down the line to do it. I'm just kidding. They don't have plans. WB does not have plans to do anything fans want. That's what it seems like, at least. In terms of the DCEU, at least. They're doing some good things with Matt Reeves' The Batman movie, it looks like. But so here's the quote. Harley Quinn was doing some interviews to promote the Suicide Squad, which is coming out in August, near my birthday. I'm excited for that. But here's what she had to say. "Trust me, I chew their ear off about it all the time," says Robbie, when asked if there's been any discussion of bringing Poison Ivy to the DCEU. "They must be sick of hearing it, but I'm like, Poison Ivy, come on, let's do it. I'm very keen to see a Harley and Poison Ivy relationship on screen. It'd be so fun. So I'll keep pestering them, don't worry." Now, it's cool. This is like the second time she's mentioned it. So check out Den of Geek. Shout out to them if you want to know more about this story. It's not like there's a huge article here, but that's the quote. And I thought this was cool because, one, I think we have such a gem in Harley Quinn, or Margot Robbie playing Harley Quinn. I really do enjoy her portrayal, though I gotta admit, the latest movie, the Emancipation of Harley Quinn movie, it wasn't my favorite. Birds of Prey was not my favorite movie. I did enjoy it when I watched it, but the rewatchability of that movie is it's not high for me, at least for me. I know there's a big fan base who love that movie, and that's all great. And I know Kathy Yan has also said that Warner Brothers did mess with her vision a little bit, so that's always a little bit disappointing, because then fans are always going to ask that what if question, especially with the track record that WB has. But it's really cool to see that, because we do know Poison Ivy, both in the animated world as well as the comic books, they have a relationship of sorts. Sometimes it's portrayed a little bit differently, sometimes as a friendship, but in other cases a romantic relationship. And I think in that regard, that was one of the things that maybe WB could beat like other competition like Marvel to the punch with, right? Getting something on screen like that would be just really pushing the boundaries of comic book movies. And it looks like WB is now trying to do things like that with the whole Black Superman thing. I'm not going to get into that too much right here, but there was many avenues for DC to push boundaries forward, but because of their hesitance or because of their reactionary nature, they're falling behind. Things like, having a black superhero on screen that fans could relate with in Cyborg. They cut him out of Justice League completely, and I think Black Panther came out the same year, correct me if I'm wrong, and Marvel beat them to it. And also they could have had established a first, Chinese superhero and presence, and really got that Chinese audience to buy in to the DC universe. Instead, Shang-Chi's coming out first because they cut Ryan Choi out of the Justice League movie. So again, it's really cool to see that Margot Robbie is a little bit more in touch with what fans want to see, and she's pushing for it. We have someone on the inside pushing for it. So that's all well and good. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Do you think Warner Brothers would bring Poison Ivy in with Harley Quinn? Or do you think maybe they're saving Poison Ivy for the Batman? That could be a real scenario as well. That's what I was thinking about. It's like, maybe they're saving her for the Batman because, Poison Ivy on the big screen with Uma Thurman in the past was not very good, at least from what I remember. I haven't watched that movie since I was a kid, the Batman movie with Mr. Freeze and Bane. I forget which one it is, but not one of the best portrayals of Poison Ivy for sure. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. I'm excited. Maybe a future project with James Gunn, like, you know, James Gunn and Harley and Margot Robbie re-signed their contracts for DC, so maybe that's a project in the future. Would you like to see it, and what is your ideal situation in terms of bringing her on screen? Let me know how you'd like to see her brought on screen in the comments below. Now, let's move on to another big story, and that is, now I'm on MovieWeb, and this has to do with Zack Snyder's Man of Steel 2 plans. They included Brainiac and more of Lex Luthor. Now, he did some interviews, I forget who it's with, but I'm just gonna read the quotes on this website. But he did say in the same interview he was talking about this, that WB is really anti-Snyder, and that when asked if fans should push to restore the Snyderverse, is there still hope? All he said that could give us hope is that I hope cooler heads prevail. But WB was clearly anti-Snyder. So again, I don't want to make this too negative, because who knows what the future holds. Maybe Toby Emmerich eventually leaves. Check out my last video if you want to see more on that. But maybe Toby Emmerich eventually leaves, and maybe Walter Hamada, I don't know what Walter Hamada's current situation is, but if Toby Emmerich leaves, that'll be one step forward in the direction we want to see the DCEU go. I know Walter Hamada is no longer involved in Black Adam, but yeah, okay, I'm getting on a tangent here. Here we go. Zack Snyder's Man of Steel 2 plans include Brainiac and more Lex Luthor. I'm gonna go ahead and jump to the quote. It says, we talked about a Brainiac movie, but I do think that the Kryptonians that are in the Phantom Zone are probably still around, and they're always a possibility for their return. Faora, General Zod's right-hand woman, and whoever's left, that always was the thing that was out there, and we talked about as a possible sequel follow-up. And I just always think that it's best to give Superman these kinds of extraterrestrial challenges, because I think that you've got to be careful with his, I mean, other than Lex, of course, you'd have to continue with Lex because Lex is the real nemesis, but I think you really have to look outside of Earth for challenges for him because of how powerful he is. And that's all. Let's get into the second quote first. He says, I don't know where I would have taken it. I don't know that I would have taken him in a different direction than the direction I was taking him. I think Henry is a great Superman. I have a great time working with Henry. We endeavored to make him a Man of Steel, in Man of Steel, a modern Superman, in that his relationship to society and or the modern world. We did that now, and what would happen if, and it's kind of what the movie's about, frankly. Man of Steel is about, what if we really had Superman? What would it mean? Had a Superman. I apologize for the chopped up reading towards the end. I don't have my glasses on. But yeah, really, really interesting quotes here. One, because I do think Zack Snyder delivered a perfect Man of Steel movie. Now, that's just me. To be honest, he brought me into the world of Superman and got me reading Superman comics with Man of Steel. And, you know, I'm obviously seeing all the different interpretations of Man of Steel throughout the years now that I'm reading and catching up on some of the comics. But I loved what he did with that, because bringing a Man of Steel into our current world wouldn't be like he's portrayed in the comics for the most part, especially given that the political situations that we would find ourselves in. Would we want this guy as our ally, or because of the fact we can't control him, would we view him as our enemy? And I always thought that was really, really intriguing. And, you know, some people maybe found it a little hopeless, and I don't know. I really disagree with that, and I think that what he brought to on screen with Man of Steel was amazing. BVS I loved as well, but I think to get a proper Man of Steel sequel with Henry Cavill as our Superman would be amazing, and Brainiac would be the logical choice to move forward. And I love that he mentioned that Faora was out there, because I think audiences fell in love with Faora. I forget the actor's name, but she was amazing. She was beautiful, and I think more of her would be great, and I think it'd be really welcome. And Zack also commented just today, I think, that, hey, you know, he was talking about them bringing a black Superman on screen, and he said, hey, you know what, maybe it's intriguing, maybe it's time for that. J.J. Abrams, he was a fan of J.J. Abrams. I'm a fan of J.J. Abrams. I know he gets a lot of hate, but again, not opposed to a black Superman, but we have Henry Cavill as the perfect Kal-El Superman. If you want to bring a black Superman in, bring in Calvin-El as Val Zod. that whole discussion has been had. But to see Brainiac, oh, that would be so awesome. Brainiac is such an incredible villain, and I think under the helm of Zack Snyder, we could really make something epic and world building for the DCEU. So, of course, Lex being the real nemesis, that's amazing. I would have loved to see Jesse Eisenberg turn into the Lex Luthor that we had envisioned for him. Of course, Zack threw us, threw us a curve with his interpretation, but again, it was always meant for Jesse Eisenberg to become the Lex Luthor that we know, and his growth through Justice League and everything would be, we would have seen that. And if you would have just gave Zack Snyder the free reign to do his thing, how awesome could this DCEU have been? And we still can. If they restore the Snyderverse, you look at the Army of the Dead reviews, and they are pretty great reviews. The biggest criticism you see out of the Army of the Dead reviews is that, hey, maybe it was 20 minutes too long, but it was such a fun ride. It was probably one of the best zombie movies out there. It had heart, and then again, I'm just kind of summarizing some of the quotes. It was actually really funny, and the opening sequence is perhaps his best opening sequence of all of his movies. So yeah, that's just kind of summing up the responses to Zack Snyder's Army of the Dead. And just to end this video here, I wanted to show you a clip of Leslie Jones. She live tweeted during her watch of the Snyder Cut, Zack Snyder's Justice League, and it was amazing. Her hashtag she kept hashtagging long ass movie, and they were hilarious tweets. Check out Leslie Jones. Here's what she had to say about Zack Snyder.
Shout out. Look at this. He said, the official
Yes!
CSJO whisper, I bow to you, my queen. That's cool.
Yes, it is. And it's going to be even cooler when he put me in the next one.
Oh, she's funny, dude. I love Leslie Jones.
But you told them exactly what you want to be.
Oh, I better be in the next one. I live tweeted for 4 hours. I better damn well
Oh, man.
start the next one.
I think you'd be great. I think you'd be... What are the conditions? What do you want to play? A hero or villain?
I want to be a villain. I want to be a villain, and I want to be the worst villain. I want to be the villain that people be like, somebody kill this bitch.
I cut it off just because of the cursing. I don't know if this video gets demonetized because of that. Anyways, that was hilarious. I wanted to end it with that, restore the Snyderverse. Let me know what you guys think. How would you proceed with a Man of Steel sequel? First of all, were you a big fan of Man of Steel? And second of all, how would you proceed with a Man of Steel sequel? And bonus question, if there was a third Man of Steel movie, who would you want to be the villain? If you made it this far, let me know who you'd want to be the villain in the comments down below. Thank you guys for watching. If you did enjoy the video, please give it a like, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Catch you guys later. Peace.